Today we're going to build 3 fairly easy woodworking projects that will make lovely DIY gift ideas. If you run a market or a craft stall, there should be enough profit in these for you to sell there. In preparation for this build, I'm cutting out the nails from a couple of old pallet boards and then we'll go from there. I give all the boards a really quick clean up with 80 grit sandpaper.
The shadows were dancing on the building's golden light when sun's in.
Once they're cleaned up, I cut them to required lengths. The dimensions are available in the free plans, just comment plans in the section below.
Were drawn like something certain, every turn laid out so clean.
So we've got 4 pieces. I'm going to run a groove down the top and bottom of the 2 long pieces, the back piece, and then the shorter piece is going to have a groove just on the bottom. I'm using my 6mm grooving blade here. For those that have never used one before and are wondering maybe why the riving knife's not on, to run a groove like a dado through the piece of wood, the material has to go right over the blade and the riving knife would stop you being able to do that. So it's not ideal, but it is something that's a necessity. I've actually managed to mess that right up. I was supposed to not go right to the end. I was supposed to use the router to route out the grooves on the back, but it's done. Let's rectify that. I've got this old piece that Judy used on her scroll sawing channel. It's not quite the right thickness, but with a bit of sanding, that'll do just fine. We'll cut a couple of pieces to just fit in the edges. I still want the groove to be there. I just don't want it right up to the edge. The blade is quite high here and it might look quite dangerous. If you don't feel comfortable with it, don't do this step. You can buy boards like this in ash and various other woods. You'll just need the 5-inch version and these are already 6mm thick. I'm going to do it on here. I'm comfortable with it, but my hands won't be anywhere near the blade. I will be using my push sticks to guide it through. You might notice here that I've plugged the bottom groove at the front of each side. I'm just going to jump in here quickly. If you're enjoying the video, please don't forget to hit the like button. And if you would, please leave us a comment, anything, just let us know what you think of the products. It really helps us within YouTube, push the video and grow the channel. Thank you very much. Driving these in at different angles to try and, if they go in like that, it's less likely that it's going to come apart. Right. So I measure a mark for 1 hole at the front and back each side of the box. This will take a screw and then will be plugged. Right, so I've got a bit of a problem. There's a few with this. I've got a big gap at the bottom. I cut the wrong amount off. So what I'm going to do with this offcut, I think I'm going to try and get it to sit as a handle or as a drawer pull. So I give the whole box a really good going over with 80 grit sandpaper and rounding over all the edges, trying to sort of distress it slightly. And there it is. I absolutely love it. I was going to paint the lettering black and then sand it back and stain the lid the same colour as the rest of the box, but I saw it two-tone and thought, no, I really like that. So I've beeswaxed it with a honey coloured beeswax, which means the lid slides beautifully. I've lasered this. You could easily stencil this. You could use vinyl and then sort of clear coat over it to protect that. There's plenty of ways that you can do that without a laser. I've shredded some Amazon boxes as a filler for around the bottle. These sell on Etsy from anything from £20 to £45. So there's opportunity for some profit there. But I think as a gift, it's absolutely lovely. Let's get on to the next project. For the next project, I've got two offcuts of oak from previous projects on the show. One's 4 inches wide, one's 2 3/4 inches wide, but you can adjust them to whatever you've got available. I'm going to cut the 4-inch wide piece to 9 inches long, and I'm going to get an 8 and a 9-inch piece out of the narrower piece. For the newer woodworkers, an acute cut like this without the proper jig on the miter saw would be quite dangerous. So if you've got one, use the bandsaw, a jigsaw, a scroll saw or a handsaw, or if not, just sand down to the line. Just removing any burn marks from the bandsaw blade, rounding over the corners nicely, and I also do 3 of the 4 corners on the base piece. So with all the pieces cut and ready for assembly, I actually decided I didn't like the width of the 8-inch piece. So I'm going to take about 3/4 of an inch off on the table saw. I think it'll look much more pleasing to the eye. I feel the imperfections with CA glue and accelerator. Every piece gets a final sanding down to 180 grit and I soften all the edges. So I find the center of the now narrower piece and mark that, and then I come in 1 inch from each end and then 2-inch intervals between that, so I end up with 4 individual points. I drill these points from the back of the board and countersink them at the same time. So I've pre-drilled and countersunk the base and the side arm, and here I'm just pre-drilling into the places that are going to take a screw to avoid splitting. I then plug all the holes, cut them off when they're dried with a flush trim saw, and sand them smooth. Apply a beeswax paste finish all over and then buff it off after a few minutes. And there we go, a lovely little key holder, 4 hooks, somewhere to put your phone or your wallet when you're coming from work or from taking the dog for a walk. I think it's a lovely gift. You could also sell it. The price would depend on how much you pay for the materials. For me, this is about £2, £2.50's worth of oak. The hooks were about £1 for the 4. So I'd sell that at £20, £25 and be happy all day long. Really does depend how much you pay for the oak. So for the last build, I've got a piece of wood that's left over from the drinks box that I made. So I'm hoping to get it all out of this one piece. I've got a template, which I'm going to cut out now. I'll speed through this project quite a bit. It's quite a simple one. I'm cutting out the template here, and then I'm going to refine those shapes on the belt and spindle sander.
You're just a target in a room full of people trying to sell a dream. Got what you wanted, but money fade fast like a summer fling. Was it worth it? The pity feet flew overseas. They made you believe in stolen dreams, someone else's fears.
Using a watered down acrylic, I just paint the whole of one half of the yin and yang. And that's our final gift item, a yin and yang tea light holder. Each of these items would make a lovely gift individually, but they also have resale value on your market stall. For more products that you can either make to sell or to gift, check out this link right here.